It's a new year, 2021. For many of us, this is the first decade we're really entering into as adults. It's the decade we're going to turn 30 in or shortly thereafter. And I know I spend a lot of time thinking back on the past decade, especially the past few years, and I wonder, do I have any regrets? If you're at all like me, you've looked back on the past few years and realized your life has just gone by in a flash. The thing that I often wonder is, did I leave it all on the field? I ask, do I have any regrets? Did I do my best and give it my all in each and every moment? Did I work to the glory of God, and did I rest to the glory of God? Did I play to the glory of God, and did I learn to the glory of God? Did I create to the glory of God, and did I destroy to the glory of God? I ask all these questions, and I know I've failed, but I do know one thing, and that is God is glorious. You see, I failed over and over and over and over again, and I'll continue to fail. I know my life can be lived better, but I also know that I can't do it. You see, this day is a day unlike any other in the year. It's a day where we all think we can start clean, we got a clean state, and then we'll just instantly change, and all of a sudden we're going to be able to accomplish all of our goals and habits. So we create these resolutions, these plans for the whole year, but if we're honest, how many of us actually succeed beyond the first week or two? We set a lot of lofty goals, and the thing is, if we want to change our habits and we want to start these new goals, we've got to start by tearing down the old things. Look, I also know I can't do it on my own. Psalm 127 says, "Unless the Lord builds the house, its builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchmen stand guard in vain. In vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food to eat, for he grants sleep to those he loves." It doesn't matter what we're working on. We set all of these goals, we do all these things. I work tirelessly, even for the kingdom goals, yet if I'm not doing it for the Lord, if the Lord's not in the work, I labor in vain. It's all just kind of worthless. The reality is, it's the start of a new year, but we also have the same habits and personalities. If we really want to change, we should start by looking at what we need to take away, what was stopping us before. So if you want to start getting in shape, maybe instead of saying, okay, I got to work out and diet, first take a look at, okay, what was stopping me from working out and going on a diet before? What was keeping me from accomplishing this goal before? Because a lot of times we're not just setting a brand new goal we've never thought of before. A lot of times it's something that we've been working on. That's why it's called a resolution. We're saying, okay, today I'm going to finally decide to stick to it. And then 3 weeks later, we probably can't name most of our resolutions. Look, change takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. If it happens overnight, it probably wasn't that big of a change. But it takes time, and it takes a community. It takes a group of people coming around you, cheering you on, pushing you forward. It takes others continuing to spur you onward. There's one more very, very important thing it takes. It takes God. Don't waste your time chasing fruitless goals without God. Don't even waste your time chasing fruitful goals without God. It'll all be in vain. None of it we do by our strength, but by His. So if you want to read more, seek God first. If you want to meet more new people, seek God first. If you want to write a book, seek God first. If you want to write music, seek God first. If you want to dance, seek God first. If you want to start a business, seek God first. Whatever it is that you're wanting to do this year, if it's working out, seek God first. Don't try and do it on your own. We are not strong enough to accomplish these things on our own. We were made weaker than the hope placed in us. And Scripture tells us that God's strength is made perfect in our weakness. I think Paul even says, so I'll boast all the more in my weakness because it is an opportunity for God to come through and shine His glory. It's a time for God to kind of show off His power to the world through my weakness. So if it's by my weakness, then let me glorify the Lord all the more for it. Whatever you do, whatever your goal is for this year, seek God, and you will be successful. Maybe you won't be successful at your goal specifically, or maybe it's not just your desires, your plans. Those aren't necessarily the things you'll accomplish, but you'll succeed by nature of seeking God first, by seeking His kingdom first. Jesus tells us the greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And the second is like it, to love your neighbor as yourself. The entire law is built upon these two commandments. So we succeed by nature of seeking God first. In the next year, in the next decade, whatever your goals are, seek the Lord first. Rejoice in Him always. Pray continually with thanksgiving. Give it all up to Him. The glory's His. That's not in question. So let's go ahead and give it to the one who already owns it. Let's attribute it all properly. Let's be grateful for the things He's given us. And just continue to get on our knees, to beg for Him to come and do a work in us. He says He's got works set before us, so we beg Him to do those works He's set before us, not the works we want to do, not just the things we want to do. We want Him to come and complete the works He has set before us. We beg for His radiance to shine through us and do a work through us, all to attribute the glory back to Him. The Philippians 2, Christ considered equality with God, it wasn't something to be grasped. Instead, He laid Himself down humbly as a servant so that all of the glory goes to God. It was all to the glory of God. That's why we exist, is to give Him glory. And so whatever your goals are, anything you're attempting to do in this life, make the primary goal, the primary objective, the actual end of that goal ought to be to glorify Him, not just to write a book for you, but no, to write a book to the glory of God, to write music to the glory of God, to work out to the glory of God, to read to the glory of God, to listen to the glory of God, to make new relationships and meet people and encourage others to the glory of God. So that leaves me with 3 questions for you. How are you going to seek the Lord this year? How are you going to rely on the Lord this year? And how are you going to glorify the Lord this year?